Every year, thousands of seniors lose their independence, not from cancer or heart disease, but from something as simple as weak legs and painful night cramps. A sudden cramp in the middle of the night can lock your legs so tight it feels impossible to move. Many wake up screaming, terrified that next time they may not get back up. These cramps aren't just random. They are warning signs that your body is running low on critical vitamins and minerals. The good news? By restoring the right nutrients, you can keep your legs strong, steady, and free from those painful jolts. In this video, we'll uncover the top 5 vitamins to strengthen your legs and prevent leg cramps in seniors. And here's the twist. One of these vitamins has almost nothing to do with your muscles, yet without it, even the strongest legs will eventually fail. Let's start with the most essential one. Number 1, vitamin D. When most people think of vitamin D, they think about bones. Doctors mention it when they talk about osteoporosis or when they tell you to drink more milk. But what many seniors don't realize is that vitamin D is also the number 1 vitamin that determines whether your legs feel strong and stable or weak and unreliable. As we age, our skin becomes far less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. And to make matters worse, many seniors spend less time outdoors. The result? A quiet, invisible deficiency that slowly eats away at strength and balance. You might blame it on just getting older, but in truth, it's your body running on empty. Researchers from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that seniors with healthy vitamin D levels had stronger muscle fibers, faster reactions, and fewer falls. Meanwhile, those who were deficient had weaker legs, struggled to climb stairs, and even had trouble rising from a chair. Think about that. A single vitamin can mean the difference between getting up with ease or feeling trapped in your own body. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Vitamin D isn't just about absorbing calcium into your bones. It literally acts as a fuel source for your muscle fibers. Without it, the nerves in your legs cannot communicate properly with the muscles. That's why deficiencies often show up as shaky balance, slower reaction times, or that heavy, tired feeling in the legs. It's not weakness from lack of exercise. It's weakness from lack of communication inside your body. Now, let me ask you, have you ever woken up with stiff legs that just wouldn't cooperate? Or felt like your muscles respond a second too late when you trip on the edge of a rug? That's not just clumsiness. That's your body whispering that it may be low in vitamin D. And if you ignore it, those whispers can quickly turn into a loud and painful scream. The consequences go beyond muscle. Without vitamin D, calcium cannot be absorbed properly, leaving bones brittle and vulnerable to fractures. Imagine one small stumble in the kitchen, leading to months in a hospital bed. For too many seniors, that's exactly how independence is lost. Not because the mind has given up, but because the legs and bones simply can't keep up. The good news is that the solution is simple and surprisingly effective. A little morning sunlight, just 15 to 30 minutes, can help your skin produce what you need. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, fortified dairy, even egg yolks and mushrooms, all add to your daily supply. And for many seniors, a modest supplement, often between 600 and 800 IU per day, is enough to restore healthy levels. Doctors sometimes recommend more, but here's a crucial warning. Higher doses are not always better. In fact, a Johns Hopkins study found that taking more than 1,000 IU per day didn't reduce falls any better than lower doses, and in some cases may even cause harm. Balance is everything. So how do you know if you're deficient? A simple blood test can give you the answer. Many doctors now routinely check vitamin D levels in older adults because they recognize its critical role in mobility. If you haven't had yours checked, this could be the single most important test you ask for at your next appointment. Now, imagine this. You correct your vitamin D levels, your muscles regain their strength, your reaction time sharpens, and those terrifying midnight cramps begin to fade. You're not only standing taller, you're walking with confidence again. That's the power of a vitamin most people think of only in terms of bones. But here's the part you need to know. Vitamin D is just the beginning. Because even if your muscles are firing properly, they still need something else to keep them relaxed, calm, and free from those painful nighttime spasms. And that's where our next vitamin comes in, a mineral often called the body's natural muscle relaxer. Stay with me, because this one may sound familiar, but the truth about it might surprise you. Number 2, magnesium, the muscle relaxer. If vitamin D is the foundation of leg strength, magnesium is the quiet guardian that keeps those muscles from betraying you in the middle of the night. Picture this. You're finally asleep, the house is quiet, and suddenly your calf seizes up like a clenched fist. The pain is so sharp it drags you out of bed, and you find yourself hopping on one foot, desperate for relief. For many seniors, this is a nightly reality. And the strange thing is, it often has less to do with the muscles themselves, and more to do with the minerals that regulate them. Magnesium plays a role most people don't appreciate until it's gone. Every time your muscles contract and then relax, magnesium is the switch that tells them when to let go. Without enough, muscles misfire. They lock up, twitch, or cramp when you least expect it. It's no coincidence that restless leg syndrome, nighttime spasms, and those painful calf cramps often show up in people with magnesium deficiencies. Now, here's where the story gets complicated. You've probably heard that magnesium supplements are the answer to cramps. And yes, countless seniors swear by them. But when scientists looked closely, the results weren't as clear. In fact, several clinical trials found that magnesium supplements didn't reduce leg cramps in older adults any better than a placebo. So, does that mean it's useless? Not quite. See, magnesium is a bit of a paradox. While the studies suggest it's not a miracle cure, the truth is, many seniors are running low on it without even realizing it. Why? Because common medications, things like diuretics for blood pressure or antacids for acid reflux, quietly drain magnesium from the body. Add to that diets low in leafy greens, nuts, and whole grains, and deficiency becomes almost inevitable. That's why some people feel dramatic relief when they replenish magnesium, while others notice little change. It's not that the mineral doesn't matter, it's that the starting levels are different for everyone. And here's another twist. Magnesium doesn't work alone. It partners with calcium, acting like a traffic controller to make sure calcium goes into your bones where it belongs, instead of clogging up your arteries. Without magnesium, calcium can actually become harmful, settling in places that stiffen joints or strain your heart. So even if magnesium doesn't instantly erase every cramp, it's still essential for keeping the whole system in balance. So how can you get more of it safely? Nature provides plenty of choices. Pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, black beans, even avocados. For those who need a little extra help, supplements like magnesium glycinate are often better absorbed and gentler on the stomach. But the real secret isn't just about swallowing a pill. It's about rebuilding the body's natural rhythm so your muscles know when to work and when to rest. Imagine what that means in real life. Falling asleep without the fear of being jolted awake, stretching your legs in the morning without stiffness, walking across the room without a sudden cramp forcing you to stop. That's not just comfort, that's freedom. But here's the thing. Even with strong muscles and calm contractions, there's another layer most people forget. What happens if the nerves themselves stop sending the right signals? Because no matter how strong your muscles are, they're useless if the messages never arrive. And that's where our next vitamin comes in, a nutrient most seniors overlook, yet without it, even the simplest step can feel like a struggle. Number 3, vitamin B12, the nerve protector. You can eat well, stretch daily, and even keep your muscles strong, but if your nerves stop firing, your legs will still betray you. And this is where vitamin B12 steps in. It's not the first thing people think of when they hear leg strength, yet without it, every step you take is at risk. Vitamin B12 is like the electrical wiring inside your body. It keeps signals traveling smoothly from your brain down the spinal cord and into your legs. Without enough of it, the wires fray, the impulses weaken, and your muscles don't get the message. That's why one of the most common symptoms of B12 deficiency is heavy, tired legs. Seniors describe them as if weights were strapped to their ankles, making even a short walk feel like a marathon. Some feel tingling or numbness. Others complain that their legs just don't obey as quickly as they used to. And here's the frightening part. B12 deficiency is incredibly common in older adults. Unlike vitamin D, which you can make from the sun, B12 has to come through food, and your stomach must produce enough acid and a special protein called intrinsic factor to absorb it. As we age, stomach acid production naturally drops, and conditions like gastritis or long-term use of acid-reducing drugs make the problem even worse. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole at the bottom. You may be eating enough, but your body simply can't hold on to it. Left unchecked, this silent deficiency doesn't just cause fatigue. It damages nerves permanently. Balance becomes shaky, reflexes slow, and falls become far more likely. Many seniors write it off as just getting older, when in fact, it's a preventable shortage robbing them of their mobility. Imagine struggling to stand from a chair, not because your muscles are weak, but because the electrical current between your brain and your legs has been cut off. That's the hidden danger of ignoring B12. The solution, fortunately, is straightforward. B12 is found naturally in foods like meat, fish, eggs, and dairy, with clams and liver being some of the richest sources. For those who don't eat much animal protein or whose stomachs no longer absorb B12 well, fortified cereals, plant milks, or supplements can bridge the gap. And here's some good news. B12 is one of the safest vitamins to supplement. Even in higher doses, your body simply flushes out the excess. For those with severe absorption problems, doctors often prescribe periodic injections that bypass the digestive system entirely, restoring nerve health directly. Picture the difference this can make. Legs that once felt heavy suddenly feel lighter. Walking feels less like dragging and more like gliding. Reflexes sharpen, balance steadies, and the fear of falling begins to fade. It's not about building new muscle. It's about reconnecting the system that was there all along. But here's the twist you need to hear. Even if your muscles are strong and your nerves are firing, there's still another threat, the very bones holding you up. Because if those bones begin to thin and weaken, one wrong step can change everything. And that brings us to our next essential nutrient, one that has been called the shield of your skeleton, calcium. Number 4, calcium, the bone shield. Strong muscles and healthy nerves mean nothing if the frame holding them together is fragile. That frame is your bones, and calcium is the mineral that decides whether they can carry you with confidence or crumble after one small misstep. For younger people, bones are constantly rebuilding themselves. But as we age, that process slows down, and calcium reserves run dry. Suddenly, the hip that once carried you up and down stairs becomes vulnerable. A fall that might have been harmless at 40 can break a femur at 70, leading to months in recovery, or worse, a permanent loss of mobility. But calcium isn't only about bones. Every single muscle contraction in your body, from standing up out of a chair to taking a step, depends on calcium ions triggering the fibers to move. Without enough, muscles can cramp, feel weak, or fail to respond with the strength you need. That's why people who are calcium deficient often describe sluggish legs and painful cramps that no amount of stretching seems to fix. The good news is that calcium is abundant if you know where to look. Milk, yogurt, and cheese are classic sources, but they're not the only ones. Leafy greens, fortified plant milks, tofu, sardines with their tiny bones, all deliver powerful doses that help keep your skeleton resilient. And when paired with vitamin D, your body can actually absorb and use it effectively. Without that partnership, much of the calcium you consume simply passes through unused. But here's the caution. More is not always better. High doses of calcium from supplements can build up in the wrong places, forming kidney stones or hardening arteries. That's why doctors usually recommend getting as much as possible from food and only turning to supplements when necessary. The key is balance. Steady, reliable intake that nourishes bones without overwhelming the body. Now imagine the difference this makes. Instead of living in quiet fear of the next fall, you walk with assurance. You bend, lift, and climb stairs knowing your frame can handle it. Independence isn't just about muscles or nerves, it's about bones strong enough to carry you every step of the way. But even bones and muscles together aren't the whole story, because there's one more mineral that controls the very spark inside your cells, the one that decides whether your muscles move smoothly or seize up in painful cramps. And without it, even the strongest legs can fail at the worst possible moment. That mineral is potassium, and its role may surprise you. Number 5. Potassium, the fluid balancer. You've probably heard of potassium when people mention bananas, but its role in leg strength runs much deeper than a piece of fruit. Potassium is the quiet conductor that keeps electricity flowing smoothly between your nerves and muscles. Without it, the wires spark unpredictably, and muscles contract when they shouldn't. That's why one of the first signs of low potassium is a sudden, painful cramp, often striking in the middle of the night when you least expect it. But cramps are only the beginning. When potassium levels dip, your legs can start to tremble after standing for just a few minutes. Walking feels stiff, awkward, almost as if your brain and your legs are out of sync. Some seniors notice they shuffle more, or they struggle to lift their feet fully off the ground, dramatically raising the risk of tripping and falling. It's not weakness in the traditional sense. It's a short circuit in the system that controls movement. And here's something most people don't realize. Potassium also protects your bones. Acids naturally build up in the body as we age, slowly eating away at bone density. Potassium neutralizes those acids, helping preserve strength from the inside out. Studies show that seniors with higher potassium intake tend to lose bone mass more slowly, meaning their skeleton stays stronger for longer. So while most people connect potassium only to muscles, it's actually working double duty, keeping both your bones and your movement steady. Thankfully, potassium is abundant in everyday foods if you know where to look. Bananas are famous for it, yes, but they're just the beginning. Sweet potatoes, beans, spinach, oranges, and even a simple baked potato with the skin can deliver more potassium than a banana. The secret is variety, mixing different foods so your body receives a steady supply. Of course, there is one important caution. For seniors with kidney disease or certain heart conditions, too much potassium can be dangerous. That's why it's essential to talk with a doctor before making major changes. But for most older adults, incorporating potassium-rich foods is a safe and powerful way to reduce cramps and protect mobility. Imagine waking up in the morning, stretching your legs, and stepping out of bed without that sudden stabbing pain in your calf. Picture walking through your garden or down the hallway without trembling or stiffness holding you back. That's what potassium makes possible. But even with all these nutrients, vitamin D, magnesium, B12, calcium, and potassium, there's still one more piece to this puzzle. Because knowing the science is one thing, but weaving them together into a life where you can move with freedom, sleep without fear, and keep your independence is the real reward. And that's exactly what we'll tie together in the conclusion. So now you've seen the full picture. 5 nutrients, each playing a different but equally critical role in keeping your legs strong, steady, and free from those painful night cramps. Vitamin D builds the foundation, turning sunlight into strength and keeping muscles responsive. Magnesium calms the spasms, helping your legs relax when the day is done. Vitamin B12 keeps the nerves sharp, making sure every step starts with a clear signal. Calcium reinforces the frame so your bones can carry you without fear of breaking. And potassium, the hidden conductor, keeps everything flowing smoothly so muscles and bones stay in perfect harmony. But here's the truth. This isn't just about science. It's about what these vitamins mean for your life. Imagine going to bed without dreading the jolt of a midnight cramp. Imagine walking across the living room without trembling knees. Imagine bending down to tie your shoes, standing back up without wobbling, and knowing you won't have to call for help. That's not just stronger legs. That's freedom. And it's not too late. Whether you're 65 or 82, your body can still respond to the right nutrition. Small, consistent changes, sunlight in the morning, a handful of spinach in your salad, a supplement your doctor approves, can add up to a transformation you can feel every single day. I've seen seniors who once feared they'd never walk without pain again rediscover the simple joy of strolling in the park or dancing at a family wedding. That can be you too. Now, before we end, let me circle back to the question I asked at the beginning. Do you remember those terrifying moments when cramps jolted you awake, making you wonder if your legs were failing for good? You now know it doesn't have to be that way. Your legs are not doomed to weaken. With the right care, they can carry you, strong, steady, and confident, for years to come. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Share your story in the comments below. Have you tried adding any of these vitamins to your daily routine? What difference did you feel? Your experience could be the very thing that inspires another senior to take the first step toward stronger legs. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because this isn't the end. It's the beginning of a journey to reclaim health, independence, and the confidence to move freely. Stay tuned, because in the videos ahead, we'll uncover even more natural ways to keep your body strong and your life full of energy. For now, take this knowledge, take action, and take that first step with strength. Your legs and your future deserve it.